Here are 7 of the easiest ways to add horsepower to your sports car. What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm gonna tell you guys the 7 easiest ways to add horsepower to your car. And before we get into the video, I just wanted to say thank you guys for all the support in the past few videos. You guys have been killing it and really been helping me reach my goal of 100 subs. I really do appreciate you guys, and let's really get right into the video. And going into this, I did want to say I'm going to list this off of importance. So it's going to go from least important to most important for adding horsepower to your car. These are all going to be cheap and effective ways to add horsepower to your car. And by cheap, I really mean bang for your buck. Anyways, to start off on our first thing is to add a cold air intake. And yes, I know the cold air intake doesn't actually add cold air, but what it does is it opens up the airflow in your car. So going into this, there's 3 main components in the car, which is air, gasoline, and electricity from the spark plugs, which makes the combustion happen in the engine, adding all the energy to the wheels. But yes, I know stock, the cold air intake really won't make too much horsepower, but I have 2 points to that. One is just because it's stock and you're not utilizing it correctly, which I will talk about later in the video. And second of all, the sound of the cold air intake is worth all the money. So not only does the cold air intake sound good, but the exhaust sounds even better. And with that being said, it also adds less restriction of airflow as well. So with all these restrictions like the cats, mufflers, and resonators, it's gonna make airflow a lot more restricted in the back. And with more airflow coming from the front, more airflow should be leaving from the back. And with that being said, that's why I think exhausts are definitely one of the most important things you guys should get on your car, not only for the sound, but really the power it produces. And off stock, I have seen some exhaust companies to claim to have 20 more horsepower and even 10 more torque. So with all that being said, the cold air intake and the exhaust are really the best way to go through if you want less airflow restriction and overall better sound. But let's go into more things that just overall help the performance of the car. Now the next 2 things I'm going to talk about aren't really going to bring up the HP, but they're going to add more performance. So starting off with this, I want to bring up some shoes for your car. And by shoes, I mean tires. Tires are definitely one of the most important things that you can have on the car. The reason being, if you don't have good tires, you're not going to have grip. And with that grip, all that horsepower is going to waste. And no, I'm not saying buy Michelin Pilot 4S's and drop thousands of dollars on tires, but just get a good pair of tires that you've seen that fit on your car, and overall the performance is so obvious. I very much recommend this as a performance gain, even over the exhaust and the cold air intake. It's just super important. Now going past that, the next thing I'm going to talk about is correlated with the new tires, and that's gonna be coilovers. Gosh, where do I even begin to talk about how important coilovers are? And no, I'm not just talking about springs. I'm talking about the full-on coilover suspension you put on your car. With better coilovers, you get better track time, and with better track time, that means you get better performance. Overall, coilovers and tires are pretty much peanut butter and jelly, and they just go perfectly together. Having those 2 together just bring up your performance so exponentially, it's not even funny. And the only reason why coilovers are so low on this list are just off the price. Anyways, I know at least I have to save up for a few months because I'm not rich. So now that we have those down, let's get into our top 3 picks for best way to make horsepower. So starting off with our number 3 spot, this kind of talks about our cold air intake and exhaust, but there's more to it. So our number 3 spot is going to be better airflow overall. And what I mean by that is adding more vents to your car, adding way for airflow to get inside of your car while keeping minimal drag. Adding more airflow to the car is kind of logical on how it's going to make more horsepower. Like I said, there's 3 main components to the engine: the air it gets, the gas it gets, and the spark. And really, air is the only thing that you need to get from outside, because the gas is injected inside and the spark is just with spark plugs. But if you're able to get better airflow going through the car, it could be cooler and it'll gain more horsepower. So with that, it'll have more reliability as well. Overall, talking about our second place, I don't think it get more obvious. And with that being said, that's gonna be just maintenance. Maintaining your car might not add horsepower, but it will keep horsepower. And the longer you're gonna have a car, the more it's gonna be worn out and the more horsepower you're gonna lose. By maintenance, I mean like every 3,000, 5,000 miles, do an oil change, and it doesn't need to be by a professional, it could be by you. I do all my oil changes every 3,000 miles to just keep my Subaru up and running well. Not only that, you could really change up all your air filters and just check up on your coolant and other important liquids. Anyways, overall, I can't say it enough, maintaining your car has to be the most important thing you could do for your car, just for it to even be drivable. That's why I have it so high in this list, and overall, it's not cheap if you do the labor yourself. But finally, getting into our last way to make the easiest horsepower is kind of obvious, and that's gonna be tuning your car. And by tuning, I'm not saying get a base tune, I'm saying get a pro tune. And with pro tune, there's two ways of doing it. So the first and more expensive path is getting a dyno tune. That's taking it to a tuner and putting it on a dyno with them scaling how your car works and just pretty much adding more horsepower. But the way I recommend doing it is through e-tune, which I'm going to do very soon. Overall, every tunable car in the world has its #1 tuner, and my tuner is not in my state whatsoever. So what I want to do off that is get an e-tune. And the reason why I think e-tunes are better is you can get more horsepower and it's cheaper. So that doesn't make sense, right? How can you get more out of something and let it be cheaper? The reason why is because it takes more time. Getting an e-tune can take a few days, maybe even a few weeks for them to go email forward and email back. It's all through emails and just trying to figure out the right thing for your car. But the reason why it's better is because it's in your climate and your elevation. If I want to go to a tuner, I might have to drive 2 hours away, which is going to be in a completely different climate and a completely different elevation, which might make the tune bad. But overall, with an e-tune, you drive your car around in your city and you send all the stats to your tuner and he makes a tune specifically for you. Overall, that's going to be the end of the video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to let me know down in the comments where I missed or if I was wrong about anything, because once again, I like talking in the comments and seeing if I was wrong, because I like learning. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching, and please make sure to like and subscribe once again. I very much do appreciate it, and we're so close to 100 subscribers. I love all of you guys, and thank you guys for all of the help you guys have done in these last few videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.